السلام عليكم خوتي، انا ما كنتم وحيدين وجدتم، دائما احنا في هنا. اليوم رانا مع اخونا عبد الرزاق مواصله للحلقه الثانيه والتي تحمل Yes Algerians can speak English part 2. اخوي عبد الرزاق السلام عليكم.
وعليكم السلام.
How are you?
I'm fine, okay. First of all, I thank you very much for the hard work you put for the community through Hna fi Hna. And also I thank so many people. They've seen the videos and the comments, and you're welcome. Through connection we meet again and again, and hopefully you've got some questions for me today.
Yes, I'd like to continue with more questions.
Oh great, it's not a
it's
problem.
Nice from you for answering all these questions.
Right, okay.
So my first question, why do young Algerians risk their lives to come to the United Kingdom and Europe and other countries?
Well, this is, first of all, let me just say something. This is my opinion. It's my personal opinion. People are entitled to different opinions. I believe the young people, particularly Algerians, they come to this country for a better life. They escape misery. No future in Algeria. They come here to improve their lives. They come here to make money, hopefully to go back to Algeria. And lots of social problems, as you know, in Algeria. Economic problems in the country, and knowing that probably 95% of the young Algerians, they want to escape and leave the country. I think that's the main reason why young, particularly Algerians, they come to the UK illegally. Basically, I'm focusing on those people that come illegally, not through a proper visa to this country. There are very minority of Algerians. They come here to study, but you can't compare them. They're nothing. Probably 1% of the Algerians. But these people, they have the luxury to pay for the courses. But the ones we're focusing on, they're the ones who actually need some help. So they come here for a better life. As I said.
What we call in English, our dialogue, haraga.
Haraga,
yes,
exactly.
Yes,
yeah.
haraga is meaning people like come without documents.
And even teenagers between 15 years, even 14 years, up to 25 years old. And they're all scattered in. The first point of meeting is, as you know, is Blackstock Road, Finsbury Park, and they meet other friends, they meet other Algerians. Any more questions?
Yes, will you tell us the problem the newcomers they face when they reach the United Kingdom, and how do they cope with the daily problems?
Well, quite honestly, one of the main problems is communication skills, which we covered it last time when you interviewed me. They hardly speak English. Also, the job, basically, when they come here, before they come actually to this country, they have high expectation that this country is a paradise. They can easily get a job, they can easily get married. So they face problem of communication skills, English language, no experience whatsoever for work, and also very hard actually to get jobs because as you know, they have to have a proper papers, they have to have a proper documents to work in this country, even accommodation, and remembering that
language as well.
The language, accommodation, jobs, the weather, the culture.
Skills.
Of course, yeah. So there's so many problems when they face when they come to this country. They don't know much about the culture of this country. So for them, for some, particularly the young people we're focusing on, they find themselves in a different culture with, Western societies, with Western values, and totally a different culture compared to our own culture, Algeria.
Yes. How do they also cope with the culture of the country they host them?
Well, quite honestly, it's again the same problem. In terms, there's something positive about London. As you know, diversity of culture. They can still practice their religion. They can still go to the mosque. They can still eat halal food if they want to. But in terms of their integration, it's so hard because wherever you go, they need to be able to understand the culture. They need to be able to speak the language. So I find most Algerians, particularly the young people, they only stick to the fellow Algerians. So they do hang around with Algerians only. And for them to have access to information, they need somebody to help them. So it's a cultural shock in general.
Maybe they don't speak language. That's why they hang with Algerians.
Definitely, that's one of the main reasons. And for them, they won't be able, as I said, be able to communicate with the rest of the world, particularly with the people they speak the language. So they rely on their friends or their, I don't know, or the people they meet in the streets, Algerians or Arabs. And it's quite honestly, I think most of them are, when I met some of them, they were a bit disappointed in terms of jobs, particularly. Thinking when they come straight away they will get a job, full-time job, they can save money, and they can, as we said, they can marry straight away, and it's easy, everything's easy. So
you had a lot.
It's not the case. That's not the case at all.
Yeah, you had a lot meeting with Algerian.
Yeah.
And you had a lot of job working with Algerian, dealing with Algerian.
Yeah.
What are their views while they are here in the United Kingdom?
Quite honestly, in terms of organisation, as you know, it's particularly in London, as you know, it's they find things. The streets are, as you know, they're clean. The system works. The police are polite. The services, they've got transport 24 hours wherever they want to go. The tubes, the facilities in this country, lots of parks, lots of leisure centres. But in terms of life, it's so expensive. In terms of so expensive, and in terms of getting a job, it's so hard in this country. If I give you an example, for example, if I want to apply for a job like a cleaning job, for example, and not only I have to have national insurance number, I should have enough experience. At the same time, probably there are 150 people applying for the same job. So, maybe. As I said, 150 people applying for the same job. I'm likely not to get the job. Basically, it's not just me. I'm talking about. This is just an example, just to illustrate.
General.
But in general, it's so hard. Particularly, we've got immigrants coming from East Europe. They're taking all the jobs in this country, so it's not easy for them. I mean, they hardly, if they can get, they probably get in a month job, and they cash in hand job, and then after that they. Have to spend the money they saved, and it's again the same scenario. So they end up broke, skint, no money. So they ask for friends for support, financial support, or some of them they actually sleep rough in the park, in the mosque, and some of them even they sleep on the buses, 24 hours. They spend all the night on the buses, and it's
very difficult.
It's very sad actually to see our people suffering in this country where we have all the luxury, all the potentiality and potentials in Algeria. It's a shame.
Okay,
any more questions?
Yes, I have a few for you. Still another time, yeah. So, as a married man, how do you see yourself in the United Kingdom?
Quite honestly, in terms of the service in this country is quite good for my kids, but I don't see. I'm thinking, me and my wife, whether we have to send our children to be educated in Algeria, because knowing that child protection in this country, children have much more power than parents in this country. For example, my son, when he's 15, he can actually take me to the court if I abuse him verbally or physically, and we don't experience those things in Algeria, and people don't know much about that actually. Facilities are good for children, but I want my kids to be brought up, educated in Algeria. When they grow up, they can come back again here.
Yeah,
when they're 19 or 20.
Okay, what do you think about mixed marriage, Algerians with non-Algerians or non-Muslims?
Quite honestly, this is a broad subject, and this is only entirely my opinion. I think some of the mixed marriages are successful, but in most of the time they're not successful. Why? Because basically an Algerian or an Algerian married to an English woman or a non-Muslim person, they may actually be okay. And once they have a kid, well, if they have children, so will the children follow, what religion do they follow? Christianity, Muslim, what kind of religion? Are they atheists? So when they have children, and the problems start rising. And we've seen so many cases where there are lots of divorce, where kids have been taken by their wives, and the father has no whatsoever power to actually get the sons back to them, or their daughters
or
back
custodies for the children.
Yeah, custody always goes to the
mother.
To the mother in this country, and they don't. The people, they don't know that, and I've seen so many upsetting and sad stories about Algerians marrying Polish or English or other nationalities. The best marriage are, personally, if you want to get married, marry from somebody from your country, from the same culture, same religion, so you avoid all the problems, particularly for the kids in the future.
We're talking about the problems of Algerian here. What sort of problems do the Algerian families face in the United Kingdom?
I think it's mainly how they bring up their kids. Even this country allows them to practice their religion. They can go to the mosque, they can practice, they can learn Arabic. But again, the child protection, as I mentioned, the children, if they reach the age of 15, they have much more power than the parents. So that I've seen a lot of cases where the kids or teenagers from Algerian family, even the father is Algerian, the mum is Algerian, but they reported them to the police, and the couple, the parents, Algerian parents, one of them end up in jail, and they end up in court and all that thing. We don't see this thing happening in Algeria because we live in a society, a traditional society, where there's a respect to parents, grandparents, respect to the society. Compared to here, this country is very, very liberal country when it comes in terms of protection, child protection. So I think this is my main, not just my main concern, the concern of so many Algerians who brought up their children in here. It's not just Algerians, even other nationalities. We've seen forced marriages. If a daughter, she was born in this country at the age of 14, 15, 16 or 18, she wants to marry somebody from this country. So we've seen forced marriages where, you know, other communities are forcing them to go back to their own country and marry somebody. And then we've seen the intervention of the British government to actually do something about. So really, really sad stories. So I think this is one of the common problems we're facing as immigrants to this country, how to bring up our children. Even they have a better education in this country compared to Algeria, but still, in terms of, this country is a liberal country. They teach them sex education at the age of 5 now, and they teach them about lesbians and homosexual couples, things like that, which for me, and even for conservative English people, they don't like those things. I mean, you teach somebody, a kid, somebody have to, you know, so, I'm not saying, but dirty stuff, that's not acceptable. Not just for the Muslims, even for the Christian Orthodox or Jewish Orthodox. This country is a very, very liberal country. You gamble if you want to bring up your children in this country. They could be well educated, they could go and end up in ecstasies or drug addicts or prostitution, whatever. So for me, the safest way is to bring my children back home.